So I got a flat tire in the Tesla. It's actually not this one, it's the front driver's side tire. And I was out on a date night with my wife last Saturday night, and it was about 11 p.m. We were driving home. We were within about 2 miles of our house, and I got the warning that the tire pressure was so low that I should sort of pull over immediately and seek assistance. Now, we were so close to home, and it was like 24 psi when it fired off the warning. I just kept driving, but as I was driving, I watched it go lower and lower and lower and lower. By the time I got home, it was at like 8 psi. So this thing was like properly flat by the time we got home. Now, a lot of people might say, Chris, you should not have done that, but man, it was Saturday night. We had been out. It was past 11 p.m., and we just wanted to get home. I know that none of the tire shops around here are open on Sundays, so I couldn't just leave it stranded on the side of the highway for, 2+ days. I just did not want to do that. So Teslas don't come with a spare tire. So what do you do in the event that you get a flat? Let's talk about that a little bit. So the first thing you should do anytime you get a flat is call Tesla's roadside assistance. If you click on the T on the Model 3 display screen, there is a number for assistance right there. And if you go into help, the help files for Tesla, there's also a full list of, how to tow the car, how it should be properly jacked up when you're lifting it and stuff like that. All of those instructions, the full instruction manual is in the display of the Model 3. So when you call the Tesla service center, they're going to want to tow you to an official Tesla service center, but they only tow within 50 miles. If you are going beyond 50 miles, you have to pay out of pocket for that tow. What they will also allow you to do, though, is call up a local tire shop, and as long as that local tire shop is capable of replacing the tire on this specific car, in this case the tire is the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, and the size is 235/35/20. So for me, I'm 136 miles away from the nearest Tesla service center. It's up in Portland. So I called up a local tire shop. They said, yes, we can change that tire. We're gonna have to order it. It's gonna take 3 days to get that tire in. So today is Thursday. The flat happened on Saturday night. I'm going on my 5th day without driving the Tesla. So a couple things to know there. Obviously, Tesla will only tow you up to 50 miles. They will also only tow you once per incident. So for instance, if I had the car towed to a tire shop and that tire shop, it turns out, could not replace the tire or couldn't get it in stock, whatever, for me, then Tesla would charge me for another tow to a different place. So now, why go through all of this, right? Obviously, the car does not have a spare tire, which is kind of a pain. You can't just put a spare on and drive it into the tire shop yourself. So what are your options? One of the options is that you can buy a spare tire kit on Amazon. I'll have a link down below if you want to take a look at the one I found. It's about $340 for the kit. It comes with the spare tire and a jack and a couple of other things to make sure that you can replace the tire on the Tesla. Now, if you're going to jack the car up yourself, you're going to need these special pucks that they sell. So since the whole bottom of the car is a battery, you don't want to jack it up just anywhere. There are special points, contact points for a jack that you have to use, and they have this little divot in them, and so these pucks go up in that divot, and then you jack up the whole puck, which doesn't damage the car or the battery at all. Those pucks then also cost extra money. I found them on Amazon for $28 each, or you can buy a set for about $52. Another option, and something that I would recommend basically for anyone who owns a Tesla Model 3, is get one of these tire repair kits. Now, this is the official one from Tesla. It costs $80. I'll have a link down below if you want to take a look at it. But basically, this is a kit that plugs into your 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter. And then this can inflate your car's tire, or you can use this special goo that comes out of this canister to actually fix and repair a flat tire of a certain size. And then once it's repaired, you shouldn't drive more than 50 miles an hour on that repaired tire. But if you're stuck with no other way of getting help, this is a good option just to get you going again so that you can make it to a service center without having to, call Tesla if you're in the middle of nowhere, if you don't have cell service or something like that. This can really save your bacon. And after this happened to me, I realized, yeah, I should really have one of these. Now, this again is $80 from Tesla. However, they do have cheaper ones on Amazon. They have one called the Slime Smart Repair Tire Kit, and that is on Amazon for $35. Now, if you look online about these tire repair kits, people are going to argue up and down about whether this one's any good, about whether the Slime one is any good, or about whether these should be used on your tire at all. There's a ton of arguments on there. So I'm not here to argue about the merits of using this tire repair kit, but to me, I would rather have this in the car than not have it in the car, and that's why as soon as I got this flat, I decided to go ahead and purchase one of these. So a couple of questions about this that I received on Twitter. Number one, someone said, why not just jack it up and take the tire to the shop? Well, again, a couple reasons. I don't have those pucks, so I would have had to buy those anyways. And in this case, I don't know enough about the tire. I could probably get it off, but you know, it's a sport performance tire. It's got a TPMS tire pressure monitoring system. I don't know what I'm doing, right? I'm not a car guy to the point where I'd be able to easily pull it off without doing some research into, is it okay to pull it off? How do I do it exactly, et cetera, et cetera. So Tesla offers free towing, right? So I'm just gonna let Tesla deal with it, let the tire shop deal with it, let the pros handle it, and I'm just gonna have them come out and tow it for me. But again, if you wanna take the tire off your own Tesla and you're capable of doing so, have at it, absolutely. I'm sure it's not a problem to just take the tire off and then, you know, take it down to the shop. But again, you should have those pucks so that you can lift it properly without damaging the battery. And someone else said, I thought that Teslas came with a proprietary no flat or run flat tire. The answer is they do not. So this is just a standard Michelin tire, and yeah, I can attest to the fact that it is flat. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is just call Tesla and schedule them to come out here and tow my car down to the tire shop. I called the tire shop this morning. They do have my tire in stock, so we will do that next, and then I will tell you about how much it costs to replace the flat tire in my Tesla Model 3.
Thank you for calling Tesla Emergency Roadside. This is Tamer. Are you on a safe location?
I am.
That's good to hear. Can I please have your last 6 digits of the VIN number?
And how can I help you today, Chris?
I have a flat, and I would like to get it towed down to the local repair shop. They have the car in stock already, or the tire in stock already.
Okay. Which tire is it that's flat?
It is the front driver's side tire.
Would you like to receive text message updates with the tow today?
Yeah, that'd be great.
And what is the address of that tire shop, please?
It is...
Okay, so we were going to set up the tow for you, and you should be getting a text message from our system with the ETA of that tow provider, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so there we go. I guess I just wait for the text message. Okay, so to prepare for towing, you have to use the tow eye, which is located in the frunk right underneath the carpet. Now, the tow point is right here, and apparently to get this out, we just have to push on the top right-hand side until it pops out. I've never done this before. Well, that is not easy. It's not coming out very easily, and of course my concern is damaging the car. Let me see if I can put a little bit more elbow grease into it. Alright, I'll see if I can get a little screwdriver up in there or something. I don't want to damage the paint or anything. Well, I'll try it. Alright, I've got a tiny screwdriver here. Don't damage the car, Chris. There we go. Alright, now I got it. Alright, that's on a little chain too, so you don't lose it. That's nice. And now you take the... How did I get that wrong? Alright, well I hope that goes back into place okay. Now you take the tow bar here and stick it in. And oddly enough, it turns counterclockwise to screw it in tight. Not righty-tighty. This is lefty-loosey to get it in and secured. Alright, there we go. That is in, and now we just have to figure out how I'm going to get this car out of the garage and turned around so that the tow truck can grab onto it. Okay, so I have the tow bar in. That is working. The next thing that we have to do is put the car into transport mode, and in order to do that, you want to hit controls in the bottom left, and then you want to hit service, and then towing, and it's going to tell you, use a flatbed, don't tow it like this, tow it like this, not like this, and then you hit the foot on the brake, transport mode becomes active, and you hold it until it turns blue. All right, so I need to wait for the tow truck company to arrive. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is I need to get the car turned around. It's in the garage, it's pointing the wrong way. The tow truck's not gonna be able to grab it the way that it is. So I'm gonna hook up my air compressor to the tire and I'm gonna fill it up as much as I can, up to about 40, 42 PSI. I know it's gonna start going flat again, but it'll give me just enough air pressure in the tire in order to pull it out of the garage and get it facing in the right direction. So I got the car out to the street, and as I was pulling it out, I was looking for some sort of puncture or something like a nail in the tire, and I didn't find anything, but when I was blowing it up, I found, I don't know how easy this is gonna be to see, and of course I'm in the sun, so I can't see anything. This is the leak. You can actually still hear it pumping air out after I filled it up, but this does not look like a nail did this. That looks like a puncture. I hope my tires didn't get slashed. I'm gonna have to check my Sentry Mode footage. Okay, car is all done. I have it back. It took about 45 minutes to get the tire repaired at the tire shop. It actually took about 2 hours for the tow company to get there. I never received an update as far as a text message, but I think that's because they have my home phone on file with Tesla, not my cell phone. So note to Tesla, if you are scheduling service calls and they ask for text message updates, definitely try to perhaps verify that you're sending text messages to the correct phone number when you schedule those services. One thing that I did not know is that the TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system, has to sort of re-update after you get the tire replaced. So it doesn't immediately show you that your tire is okay. When I got back in the car, it was still showing that it was flat. It was telling me to pull over safely, etc. So I looked it up in the manual, and that's basically you have to be driving over 15 miles an hour for a certain amount of time before the TPMS kicks in and shows you the correct tire pressure once again. So just keep that in mind. If you ever do get a tire replaced that has been flat, after it's been replaced, don't worry about what TPMS is saying. Just give it a second and it'll fix itself momentarily. So total cost to have this one tire replaced was $427.28. Now that included, of course, all the labor and everything. The tire itself, I think, is about $330 if I was just to buy that tire online. And so, yeah, pretty expensive. And the one thing that's bugging me about the whole thing is, how did a, sort of like 3/4 inch slit end up on the sidewall of my tire? To me, there's two explanations. Either the tire was defective or someone slashed my tire while I was parked at this bar, which could very well have happened. It was kind of a seedy bar. Unfortunately, I don't have any Sentry Mode footage for that time period. For some reason, Sentry Mode did not capture anything. It captured stuff from earlier that day, and it captured stuff from the next day, but nothing for that exact time period where I just happened to need Sentry Mode footage. So there is one option. When I parked next to that bar, see, here in Oregon, there are these legal weed dispensaries everywhere, right? So the bar was right next door to one of those weed dispensaries, and that dispensary was closed, but I had parked right in front of it when we went to the bar. So they had a camera that was trained right on my car. And I've done some work with dispensaries out here in Oregon in terms of video surveillance. They are required by law to have 90 days of full-time recording for all of their cameras. So I went into the weed dispensary where I had parked, and I asked if there was any possibility that I could get some of that footage or have them take a look at, this time between this hour and this hour to see if there was anything suspicious that was caught on film. And I'm waiting to hear back from them. If I do hear back, I will definitely update this video. But what do you guys think? The sidewall of the tire, so I drive this way back and forth all the time. This was only about 3 or 4 miles from my home, and there's no major potholes in that distance, right? So I didn't hit a major pothole that possibly punctured the side of the tire. There was not a nail or anything that I could see. It was a puncture in the sidewall, right? So it wasn't something that I ran over. It was either someone slashed the tire or it was like a defective tire. I don't see how a Z-rated tire with only 17,000 miles on it, though, can just get a sort of gash in the side spontaneously. That seems really, really weird to me. So, I don't know. Hopefully I can get some of the footage from that dispensary and maybe it'll shine some light on what happened, or at least it would show me that nothing happened while I was parked there. Okay, so I heard back from the dispensary and unfortunately it did not turn anything up of use. They reviewed the footage but did not see anyone slash my tire. Now, it could have happened earlier in the evening. I assumed that it happened when I had parked there, but possibly not. We had actually been at the bar for a couple of hours, parked at a different spot that didn't have cameras on it. Then we left and we realized that we forgot to pay our tab and we had left our credit card there. We only got a mile or two down the road. We came back, paid our tab, and that's when I parked right in front of that dispensary. So it didn't happen for the 10 minutes after we had come back the second time. It might have happened prior to that. But the bottom line is we're just never gonna know what actually happened. To me, it looks like a slashed tire. I can't imagine what else could have caused that just driving down the road. It doesn't make any sense to me. But regardless, damage was done, everything's paid for, car's back on the road, and we just cross our fingers and hope that it doesn't happen again. So what do you guys think? Do you think my tire got slashed, or do you think I just hit something on the road? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you think. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, make sure you hit subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.